Hi everybody, this is Vinny and welcome to Complain Time. This is the show where we take a moment while the boss is out of the office to talk about things that really just quite frankly annoy us to death. Because you know what they say, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Or in this case, complain about stuff that just drives us all crazy. Now before we go any further, I want to give you guys an opportunity to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified so you never miss another episode of Complain Time as well as other additional HVMA content. Now today's topic that I want to get into, something that really gets on my nerves, awkward sayings. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me use a phrase that might help jog your memory. Like the old saying goes. We've heard that plenty of times, haven't we? And anytime someone says the old saying goes, you know something weird is about to follow. Just something bizarre that makes absolutely no sense, but somehow, some way, it was created eons and eons ago to try to get us to comprehend or make sense or better understand something, because apparently it's more catchy than telling us the actual thing that they're trying to say. But in reality, it's really, really annoying. Now, there's a couple of sayings in particular that I'm going to dive into, but we know there's a plenty that we can find online. But the one that I've always found weird was snitches get stitches. Now, obviously what they're saying is, this is what is often said, like, when people are, trying to keep a secret, or you find out something and someone tells you, if you tell on me, I'm going to beat you up. That's what snitches get stitches usually means. Someone's going to beat you up if you tell on them. Now, for me personally, the only time I've ever really heard this is in one situation, and that's usually when there's something illegal going on, like when gang members are committing crimes, something like that. They usually say snitches get stitches, which I always thought was weird, because when you get stitches, you're still alive. Like, you're just injured to the point where you need stitches. You go to the doctor, you get stitched up, and you're back to normal. See, I'm Italian. We don't have that kind of saying around here. See, I'm Italian. We had the mafia. If you blabbed in the mafia, you didn't get stitches, you died. You know what I'm saying? Like, gang members just want to, I guess, beat each other up and leave you for dead. Italians don't leave you for dead. We make sure you're really dead. See, our saying is, snitches sleep with the fishes. That's where we came from, the whole, we basically put you in cement shoes and drop you in the bottom of an ocean. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. They basically take your feet, put them in concrete, and drop you in the bottom of an ocean, because we don't want you to talk. And if you do talk, we have to get rid of you. Like, that's the code. So I never understood the phrase snitches get stitches. Like, if I have a big secret, someone blabs on me, I'm not beating them up. I'm killing them. Simple as that. I'm an Italian. That's what we do. Anyway, so that's just one phrase that always bothered me. But another one, of course, is the phrase crying over spilt milk. Now, obviously, this is a phrase that means that, don't worry about stuff that you can't control, or, don't let yourself get beat up. You're crying over spilt milk. It means you're complaining about something that is meaningless, The thing about me is, I always thought that was stupid, because who cries over spilling milk? I've spilled milk maybe 4 or 5 times in my life. I've never once cried about it. I never got upset about it. In fact, the only time I ever cried over spilt milk that I could think of is when I spilled the milk, my parents got mad, they old school disciplined me, which caused me to cry. So I wasn't really crying over the spilled milk, I would be crying over my parents disciplining me over spilling milk. But the actual spilling of the milk, never cried, never complained, never had a problem with it, not one time. So, again, it's a stupid phrase, because I don't even know a lot of people who even drink milk anymore. When I was a kid, obviously I drank milk, because they tell you milk, builds your bones, makes you grow big and strong and all that. But, except for Kurt Angle, I don't know too many grown adults that drink milk on a regular basis. So I can't think of a scenario where you would spill milk unless you're pouring milk in your cereal. And I feel like at our age, we should be able to master the art of pouring milk. So, again, I think it's a stupid saying. Then there's another one that a lot of people use called a hit for 6. Apparently, this is a British saying, which is why I'm not even going to tell you what it means, because I have no idea. Apparently, it's something related to cricket. And let's be honest, for the most part, we don't understand cricket. Like, you got to know what a crumpet is if you want to understand cricket. So I'm already not making sense. I didn't even bother to interpret it because I don't know. Like, I remember one time I was watching this show on YouTube called Jeremy Kyle, who is basically the love child of Jerry Springer and Maury Povich. It's like England's version of that. And literally, I watched Jeremy Kyle say a bunch of phrases that made absolutely no sense to me. Apparently someone stole money from somebody else. This guy and his girlfriend apparently stole money. And the whole time he's sitting there going, "Did you nick the money?" What? I'm on TV watching this like, "Yeah, you and your bird, you nicked the money, didn't you, you little tea leaves?" I'm like, okay, can somebody come translate this for me, please? Do we have subtitles? Like, is this English? This makes no sense to me at all. By the way, side note, if you ever go to England, someone is going to say a phrase to you by either asking for or offering you a particular item. The phrase is going to throw you off. I can't say it on this video for YouTube reasons, like because it violates YouTube guidelines. Just know this: in that scenario, they're offering you a cigarette or asking for a cigarette, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Anyway, another phrase that I always thought was very weird was called blow your socks off. I'm not getting this one at all, because here's the thing. It's usually when these are going to tell you something really, really cool, man. I got something that'll blow your socks off. Okay? Why would I want to be excited about my socks blowing off? Like I like when people say, "I'm going to blow your mind." That's a good saying. Because my mind is where you think, where you notice, where you see stuff. It also, the nervous system controls every part of your brain. So having the mind blown makes sense. Holy crap, that blew my mind. That's a cool saying. Blow your socks off, that's not cool. Even if it did blow my socks off, is it just the socks? How do you only blow off the socks? Like, wouldn't my whole foot go with it? If I was wearing shoes, would the shoe go flying with the sock? Like, that makes no sense. Like, unless you're somebody who walks around in only socks, and the only time I could think of doing that is when I'm in my house and it's like wintertime. I get these like special type of socks that are like keep your feet warm and you can walk around the house without having to put shoes on. But most of the time I'm wearing shoes. So the blow my socks off thing makes absolutely no sense. It's just stupid. Just say, "I got something really cool to say." All right, I'm listening. You already got my attention, Unless you're somebody that constantly gives me, unless you're somebody that constantly says, "I got something really cool to say," and it's always boring, most of the time when you say, "I got something really cool to say," you have the person's attention already. They're already listening to you. They're already comprehending you. It's like, all right, I'm listening. I'm all ears. Let's go. I'm listening. What's the cool thing you got to tell me? And then there's another one. Wrong end of the stick. Obviously, that means you got the bad end of a deal. Been there many times. But my thing is, when you really think about it, is there really a wrong end to a stick? It's a stick. You pick it up from either end. Usually when you pick it up, it's there. You have it. It's a problem solved. You don't have to do anything special. That doesn't make sense. Like, the better thing would be the wrong end of a sword. I would be more believable of that, because there is a wrong end. There's a handle, and there's a blade. If you grab the blade, you're going to cut your hand. If you grab the handle, you're going to be fine. So that makes more sense to me. A stick is just a stick. You pick it up either end and you throw it. Your dog runs and gets it and he brings it back. Or you use a stick to, like, build something or hit somebody or whatever. Like, there's really no wrong end to a stick. So that's kind of a dumb saying. And then I got one more for you guys. The last one that I really want to talk about here. And this one is like the mecca for me. The mecca of all stupid sayings. Whenever I hear someone say this, this is when I get the most angry. I get the most frustrated. I get the most irritated when I hear this. It makes me cringe every time I hear it. It's when you walk up to somebody and you say, "How are you doing?" And they respond with, "I can't complain." Really? Nothing? You got nothing to complain about? Let me tell you something. People who say that irritate me. I'm going to tell you why. I don't care how good things are in your life. I don't care how awesome it is. Unless, and I can only use this as a guy example, girls, I got nothing for you. But unless you're a guy and you're living in a mansion and you got no debt of any kind, and you're surrounded by all these beautiful women who will cook for you, clean for you, and make love to you at the snap of your fingers, I'm pretty sure you got something to complain about. At least something. Obviously, complaining is something that I do. That's why I have a YouTube show devoted to complaining, because I can always find something to complain about. Don't get me wrong. My life is happy. I'm a happy person, especially lately. I've had a lot of positive things happen to me. I'm in a good mood. I wake up in the morning and I don't hate my life, which is something that I did for a very long time, was hate my life, but I don't much anymore. But as great as my life is, I still find something to complain about. Why? Because it's life. Something is going to make you complain. Now, it might not be a big deal. It might not be a major, monumental catastrophe, but you can still find something to complain about. You sit in traffic, don't you? I mean, heck, you got a wife, you got kids, you got a husband. They don't get on your nerves from time to time. They don't give you something to complain about. I mean, maybe not every day, but once in a while, they gotta be a pain in something. Hell, this is episode 9 of Complain Time. I have 8 things that I've complained about thus far. And there's going to be more episodes to come. So obviously, I'm always going to find things to complain about. I'm always going to have at least something. So unless you're saying I can't complain as a way of saying I don't want to talk about it, which is fine. You don't have to share everything with me. Not everybody's an open book like myself. But don't try to act like I can't complain like your life is perfect, especially if it ain't. I hate that I can't complain people. People who don't have something to complain about are not normal people. You're a space alien to me. Now, unless you're Dwayne Johnson, you've got something to complain about. Unless you're Brad Pitt, you've got something to complain about. Trust me. Those are guys who can't complain. Because Dwayne Johnson is amazing. Brad Pitt, everybody loves Brad Pitt. So they've got reasons not to they have no reasons to complain, really. So that was one that just really, really bothered me because, and look, I get it. I know that these awkward sayings are meant to, like I said, get to the point and be entertaining and fun. And some of them are actually funny. Some of them are actually very well done and well creative. But at the same time, they sound stupid and don't make any sense. If you're going to make a fun saying, let it be something that's actually going to make sense to the person. People don't have time to get distracted or think about something else. If we're going to talk about something, we need to talk. That's just how I feel about that. And like I said, just there's a lot of sayings you can say to me, but if you say I can't complain, I'm walking out the door. All right. And speaking of the door, I can hear the boss. I think he's making his way up the stairs. So this, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude Complain Time for today. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified so you never miss another episode of Complain Time, as well as other additional HVMA content. Check back soon for a new episode. Until then, stay social.